Plants for a future states, fringe tree was commonly used by the North American Indians and European settlers alike to treat inflammations of the eye, ulcers of the mouth, and spongy gums. In modern herbalism, it is considered to be one of the most reliable remedies for disorders of the liver and gallbladder. The dried bark is alterative, aperient, cholagogue, diuretic, febrifuge, and tonic. It is used in the treatment of gallbladder pain and gallstones, jaundice, and chronic weakness. A tincture of the bark was once widely used in the treatment of hypertrophy of the liver, jaundice, bilious headaches, gallstones, rheumatism, etc. The root bark also appears to strengthen the function of the pancreas and spleen, whilst anecdotal evidence indicates that it may substantially reduce sugar levels in the urine. It's another thing. Blood sugar can affect the color of your urine. The fringe tree also stimulates the appetite and digestion and is an excellent remedy for chronic illness, especially where the liver has been affected. A tea or a poultice can be made from the root bark for external use as a wash for wounds, inflammation, sores, infections, etc. The roots can be harvested any time of the year. The bark is peeled from them and is dried for later use. Peterson Field Guide for Eastern and Central Medicinal Plants says physicians formerly used 10 drops every 3 hours of tincture for jaundice. The tincture was 1 part by weight in 5 parts 50% grain alcohol and water. Okay, so that's like 100 proof vodka that's 50% alcohol, and 1 part weight to 5 parts of the bark to 5 parts of the vodka. So it's not as complicated as it sounds. In the late 19th century, fringe bark tree was widely employed by physicians who thought it to relieve congestion of glandular organs and the venous system. It was employed for hypertrophy of the liver, wounds, nephritis, and rheumatism. Once considered diuretic, alternative, cholagogue, and tonic, American Indians used the root bark tea to wash inflammation, sores, cuts, and infections. Warning, overdose causes vomiting, frontal headaches, and slow pulse. I don't know what that is. P-O-U-L-T-S. Pulse. Sounds like a chicken to me, but I have no idea. But anyway, don't overdo it. And interestingly, the physician's desk reference for herbal medicine, which is like the go-to for a doctor. If you go in and say, Doc, I'm using this herb, he's going to pull out the PDR, look it up, and see if it contraindicates with any of the medications he's prescribed. They actually list fringe tree, and they say fringe tree, because of its saponin content, is said to have hepatic, cholagogue, diuretic, and tonic effects. Unproven uses. It is used in the treatment of the liver and gallbladder conditions, including gallstones. North American folk use includes jaundice, hypertrophy, again, it's the liver, wounds, and ulcers. No health hazards or side effects are known in conjunction with the proper administration of designated therapeutic dosages. So according to the PDR, which is, like the go-to for the medical community, it's pretty safe. They just don't say whether it works or not. Well, I think we got enough documented evidence to say that, we would find it useful. All right, I got, one more. Maybe I got time to, I got time to do 2 more because they're both short. Clerodendron kentuckiae. I think it's going to be Kentuckiae in Latin. This is another native one because it's coming from Kentucky. Kentuckiae, right? Clerodendron is known as Yellowwood. And I'm telling you, fringe tree is a really pretty plant, but as attractive as fringe tree is, it meets its match in Yellowwood. Unique to my region, this tree blooms with long trails of cascading flowers. It's just gorgeous. Unfortunately, I cannot nail down any documented research on medicinal use. I found some folk lore on it. I found some mentions here and there. I just figured I'd mention this one because it's really pretty, and it's a leguminous tree, which means it's going to help fix nitrogen. I would encourage you to plant this when you're in landscape. It's going to be probably the prettiest tree in your yard, and if I ever find anything I can say for sure is accurate about its medicinal use, I'll let you know. But one that does have some limited medicinal use not at all native to America, is Clerodendron trichotomum, I guess. It is Chinese, and who knows when it was brought here. It's been naturalized. It's become a really common plant in the American Southeast, around North Carolina and such. Its common names include Harlequin glory bower, so obviously it was brought in ornamentally. It's another very pretty tree. The Chinese name is Chou Wu Tong. Plants for future states of medicinal use of Chou Wu Tong. The leaves are mildly analgesic. It means it helps with pain, like an aspirin. That's analgesic. Antipyretic. And that's, it basically means itchy skin. It helps against itchy skin. Hypotensive means it lowers blood pressure, and sedative. They are used externally in the treatment of dermatitis and internally for the treatment of hypertension, rheumatoid arthritis, joint pain, numbness, and paralysis. When used in a clinical trial of 171 people, the blood pressure of 81% of the people dropped significantly. This effect was reversed when the treatment was stopped. That's pretty incredible, actually. You can probably find Clerodendron. There we go, Clerodendron. All right, I think that's it. Yeah, Clerodendron, known as Harlequin glory bower or Chou Wu Tong, at your local garden center as an ornamental plant. Its effect on blood pressure is really impressive. Really impressive. The plant is normally used in conjunction with Biden's bipinata. When used with the herb Sigesbeckia pubescens. There's a common name for that, but it is not coming to me. Siegesbeckia. Siegensbeckia pubescens. All right. Well, I'll look it up at some point and let you know. So when used with that, it's anti-inflammatory. The roots and leaves are anti-rheumatic and hypotensive. A decoction is used in the treatment of rheumatoid arthritis and hypertension. The pounded seed is used to kill lice. So that's a really nice ornamental plant. I'll just go ahead real quick and just Google this Siegensbeckia so you know what it is. I don't normally do this in the middle of a show, obviously, but I don't want to leave you hanging. Oh, okay. St. Paul's wort. Yeah. It's in the Asteraceae family. It's pretty common weed, actually. A real good herb. It looks a lot like St. John's wort, but it's more weedy, and it's known as St. Paul's wort. So, yes, that's Siegensbeckia. So, apparently that combined with Chou Wu Tong or Clerodendron is anti-inflammatory. So, I'm going to wrap it up there. I think, wow, these are some really useful trees. Some of them, like I said, are wild and native. Well, 2 of them, and 1 of them is an import that you may actually have an easier time finding because it's going to be sold as an ornamental. Really, all these are just really gorgeous trees. I mean, if you're planning your landscaping, I would definitely think about including any of the 3 in there. So, y'all have a good one, and I'll talk to you next time.
The information in this podcast is not intended to diagnose or treat any disease or condition. Nothing I say or write has been evaluated or approved by the FDA. I'm not a doctor. The U.S. government does not recognize the practice of herbal medicine, and there is no governing body regulating herbalists. Therefore, I'm really just a guy who studies herbs. I'm not offering any advice. I won't even claim that anything I write or say is accurate or true. I can tell you what herbs have been traditionally used for. I can tell you my own experience and if I believe an herb has helped me. I cannot nor would I tell you to do the same. If you use an herb anyone recommends, you are treating yourself. You take full responsibility for your health. Humans are individuals and no 2 are identical. What works for me may not work for you. You may have an allergy, a sensitivity, an underlying condition that no one else even shares and you don't even know about. Be careful with your health. By continuing to listen to my podcast or read my blog, you agree to be responsible for yourself, do your own research, make your own choices, and not to blame me for anything ever.